دي مركز النازحين أيوة نازحين النزحوا من كرندن.
They were displaced once and now they've been displaced again, says the human rights worker who filmed this for us. Several thousand people who'd fled violence in the Darfur countryside in recent years were living at this school in El Geneina until last Thursday, when militiamen from the Rapid Support Force, the RSF, attacked, shooting people and burning down their huts.
There's a militia who came to attack the civilians in different places, such as the IDP camps, the market, and the resident area. In response, also there's another militia who respond to this attack, and they also lost some of their members.
El Geneina in West Darfur is temporary home to some 60,000 people displaced by previous fighting. Their camps, many in schools, have been targeted in the last week. We have confirmed reports of attacks by the RSF and allied local militia in at least 3 locations: Geneina Boys Secondary School, the Judiciary Mosque and the Imam Al-Khazim School. This footage is from the El Geneina Boys School, where several displaced people were killed, according to eyewitnesses. In the Judiciary Mosque, the RSF and local militia reportedly killed at least 8 people. The human rights worker filmed around the mosque, another camp for the displaced, most of them from the African Marsalit ethnic group. Why attack civilians? Probably because the Marsalit are the old enemy. The RSF grew out of the Janjaweed, Arab fighters employed by the Sudanese army 20 years ago to put down a largely African rebellion. Increasing numbers of Marsalit are fleeing over the border to Chad. The new war between the RSF and the army in Khartoum has rekindled an old conflict that could engulf Darfur again. A local ceasefire was agreed yesterday, but at least 200 people are reported to have been killed in last week's attacks, while hospitals have been looted and burnt.
As far as the medical health care is concerned, many of the hospitals run out of services, and there's increasing number of injured people and patients in different parts of Darfur. They need medication and medicines. Unfortunately, in some of the areas such as Nial in South Darfur, the medical store has been banned, and the remaining medication has been looted and stolen.
In Khartoum, the situation in hospitals is equally desperate and chaotic. So much for the ceasefire. Increasing numbers of injured people are arriving every day at the Al-Ban Jadid hospital and others. Medical staff are exhausted. Most haven't been home for more than 2 weeks. They're working without breaks in ever more difficult circumstances. New life always means new hope, although giving birth under such circumstances must be terrifying. And then they have to get home, driving through what is meant to be a new 7-day ceasefire. Their best hope is that regional leaders will put irresistible pressure on the generals to stop fighting for the sake of the Sudanese people.
Lindsay Hilson reporting. Well, Professor Mukesh Kapila was the UN humanitarian coordinator in Sudan until 2004, and he joins us now from Geneva. Thanks very much for coming on the program, Professor Kapila. Lindsay Hilson just now reported on that new ceasefire that's supposed to start on Thursday. Do you have any reason to believe that this one might make a real difference?
I would like to think it might, but on past track record, I am not very optimistic. And I think plans for the future, based on that wish for a ceasefire, would be a very dangerous thing to do.
What are the dynamics in this war, which has not been described yet as an all-out civil war, but it might become one? What are the dynamics and how does this all end?
I think it's as close to a civil war as you can get. A civil war that there are going to be multiple actors. I think just looking at your report just now about al-Fashir just brings back memories for me, because al-Fashir was the epicenter of what I called a genocide, in which the International Criminal Court subsequently confirmed. So it is not surprising that the genocidal violence, because the ethnic dimensions are recurring there. Now, the reason that is important in terms of the overall civil conflict in Sudan is that its entrails are being felt in other parts of the region, for example, the Nuba Mountains, Blue Nile, and obviously all around the Nile Valley. So yes, this is very much a civil war, continuation of past history in Darfur.
And explain to us the connection between the violence that we just saw in Lindsay's report in Geneina and the violence in Khartoum.
Well, I think the violence in Khartoum started by itself in terms of the two competing groups, the Rapid Support Forces and the military. So that exploded there. However, the RSF are really the old Janjaweed, whose home is in Darfur, and the commander of which comes from Darfur. Mm-hmm. And as has happened in the past, neither side is strong enough. And when the time comes for them to mobilize their allies, they go back to their roots. So it is not surprising that about a week after Khartoum exploded, so did Darfur. And that has also sucked in allies from neighboring countries, Central African Republic and Chad, who were exactly the sort of actors who were also involved in all those years ago.
Briefly, who's got the power in the region to try and broker some kind of lasting ceasefire or a stop to the fighting?
Oh, it's the regional countries, without doubt. It is countries, especially like Egypt, like Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. The UN, the African Union, and the great powers have absolutely zero leverage. It's regionally that I think they have to kind of try and find a solution.
Okay, and again, briefly, if this is not brought under control, what are the consequences, both in terms of the movement of people and just violence for the entire region?
Well, I think we're going to probably see 2 million or more refugees coming out into all the neighboring countries. 800,000 have been predicted, but that, I think, is an underestimate. We're going to see instability across sub-Saharan Africa and the Horn, remembering that neighboring countries have their own problems, including South Sudan, Ethiopia, and so on. And we are going to see a refugee influx trying to come across the Mediterranean. Now, we will see the Islamists come back. There are already calls for Bashir's allies saying that he should be released. And so we see actually a reconfiguring of fundamentalistic politics, which is going to be the legacy of this conflict.
Depressing stuff. Professor Kapila, thank you very much indeed.